What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, and welcome back to another episode of the 5 Takeaways, where we're going to take a look at yesterday's game against Southampton, the 1-1 draw, and see what takeaways we can take away from the game. And let's start off with the first one, and that is creative Winks.
So another really good display from Harry Winks, I felt, in the central midfield yesterday, and he was the real player trying to force the issue with his passing, forward passing, through balls, and he made 3 key passes, more than anyone else on the pitch for Spurs. He had the most touches. He also had the most accurate crosses as well, with 3. Obviously played that through ball to Heung-min Son, which is one of 2 he played throughout the game. He also made 2 interceptions and 1 tackle as well, in what was quite an effective display, I felt, from Harry Winks.
Yeah, definitely. And when you're talking about 2 players, him and Dele Alli, who really put in strong shifts against Liverpool, and you're asking them to back that up with something good, and he definitely did that. And yeah, music to our ears for Harry Winks, not so much for Dele Alli, as he backed it up with an absolute terrible display yesterday. But Harry Winks, some stuff that we've spoken about him in the past, sidewards, backways passes. Since Conte's come in, he's really added, re-added that kind of forward thinking into his game, and really was our most creative player yesterday. So big up Harry Winks, another strong display from him. And let's move on to the second takeaway, and that is no way through.
So Spurs were ultimately frustrated yesterday in the second half, but it wasn't for the want of trying yesterday. We had our most shots out of any game this season. We had our most shots on target out of any game this season. Our second highest XG of the season as well. Most touches in the final third. Most progressive passes as well in the final third. And also it was the second lowest XG we've conceded all season. But we just couldn't find a way through in that second half. And I think the stats suggest it was just one of those days rather than a proper systemic issue.
Yeah, I think that, look, I think there's a couple of ways you can look at it. In terms of it being one of those days, it felt like that when we were there yesterday. But, we did score 2 goals that really should have been counted. Yes, it wasn't the greatest display from Tottenham, but I felt like, look, Fraser Forster did make a number of saves throughout the game, but I felt that they were all like kind of routine saves, and we didn't really test him properly yesterday.
Yeah, but in terms of the quality with chances of creating, the finishing was the bad thing, not the ability to create, which was the point. Yeah, which is good.
All right, let's move on to the third takeaway, and that is missing Skipp.
So Ollie Skipp seems to have a dramatic effect on our results. If you look at it, our win ratio with Skipp in the team is over 60%, and when Skipp is not in the team, it's just over 20%. And that suggests that Ollie Skipp, even this season, just breaking into the team, he's already having quite an importance on the team. And obviously, you can't. It's a bit of a small sample size because only since the start of the season, so it's not that many games, but already he's starting to show his importance, and I think he was missed a bit yesterday.
Definitely, and you can see his influence on the pitch, his combativeness in the middle of the park, not just defensively but going forward as well. He's added that to his game since Conte's come in as well. So Skipp is a vital cog in our team, it seems, and it's showing that out in the stats as well. So bring back Ollie Skipp for Watford, and I'm sure he'll get a start, that's for sure. But let's move on to the fourth takeaway, and that is unbeaten Conte.
So Antonio Conte, after drawing yesterday's game, became the first Tottenham manager ever to go unbeaten in their first 7 league games, which is really, really good. Obviously, we've shown massive improvement under Conte. With stats all bear that out. We've improved our shots, our chance creation, our XG, our running stats are all going up. We're conceding less as well. We're now, I think, since Conte's come in, I think we've conceded the least goals since he's come in. So I know favourable fixtures and all that, but really that does suggest that things are definitely improving. But after yesterday's draw, it does show that there's still a lot of work to be done. But look, things are definitely still moving in the right direction, and that draw just keeps our unbeaten run going.
Yeah, it's an impressive stat as well. What you said is 7 games unbeaten, the first Tottenham manager ever to do that. Or I think it's 4 wins and 3 draws, with one of those coming against Liverpool. So, look, yes, we have had favourable fixtures. You got to say that with predominantly home games we've played. The away games, which we'll get into in a second, that we haven't won any of those games as of yet. But I think that with Antonio Conte at the helm, as you say, that we've improved in a lot of aspects of our game. I think we need to improve in January in terms of the squad depth. That will definitely help Conte, but I think you can see in the stats and on the pitch that trusting the process is the only way to go. So that is the fourth takeaway. And the fifth takeaway, fifth and final takeaway, away struggles.
So our away form is starting, it's quite a big concern actually when you think about it. I know we've had 3 away games postponed in a row, so it kind of skews how we've been doing away from home. But the draw away yesterday from Southampton means, first of all, Conte hasn't won an away game yet in 2 attempts. Drew to Everton and drew to Southampton.
And lost to Mura.
And lost to Mura as well. Good point. We are currently 3rd in the home league table, having won 7 of our 10 games, but we're 13th in the away league table, but we have only played 7 games. However, we've only won 2 of those 7 games. Only scoring 6 goals in those 7 games as well. We haven't won an away game since Newcastle away back in mid-October, so it's been 2.5 months now since playing away game, although we have had 3 postponed, as I said before. But this is the main thing that Conte definitely needs to address. He needs to make sure if we can correct our away form, start getting like half the amount of points that we're missing out on at the moment, then we got a good shot at top 4. But if this away form continues, this could be what costs us the top 4 spot.
Yeah, I mean, that's the real big question mark at the moment, isn't it? Our away form. And as you say, Conte has come in. He's had a lot of them postponed, but the 2 that he has had, Everton away and Southampton away, not the most difficult away games in terms of the grand scheme of things. So you would have thought that maybe we would have picked up 3 points in at least one of them. But we were going on the way to the game yesterday. Me and Stel were talking about our away form. We were like, that's the one kind of question mark over the team and over Conte at the moment, and the question marks are still there. So we need to improve our away form, and let's start that off at Vicarage Road this weekend. So that is our 5 takeaways. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought of our takeaways, and also put your takeaways in the comment section below. Like, subscribe and comment, and as always, come on you Spurs.